Good afternoon. So I'm here with my XDM Springfield Armory BB pistol, and I've been doing some more evaluation of the aim points for the sights. And I suspected it was shooting low, so at 10 yards I was shooting this target here, and at the centre they were completely missing. So I aimed at the top of the target here, and they actually were grouping down here, and it's quite a decent group. Okay, so that was 4.5 inches at 10 yards, which is quite a long way out actually. We've already know that the power is about 306 FPS, averaging over 51 shots, so power wasn't an issue. I then moved out to 12.5 meters and carried out the same test, and I ended up, they were actually down here, so I ended up actually aiming at the top of the actual target, and they grouped here, and that is actually 6 inches, so it's 6 inches out at 12.5 meters. So this pistol is very good. It's consistent. It groups well, because that is actually 3/4 of an inch, that group there, yeah, which is really good. That was freestanding, by the way. These two shots were freestanding, yeah. So that's a freestanding group, yeah, at 12.5 meters, yeah. So really good. The actual sights themselves are actually accurate, but the actual aim point is way out, as in it's central, but it's way low. Okay, so I just fitted a cheap eBay laser, I think about £6, I think they are, and basically I was taking some targets here. This is at 10 meters resting, and I was zeroing the laser in. So I started there, moved over there, then I made it to get it central, and then I was starting to run out of CO2. I only used one CO2, and this last group here was basically 62 to 71 shots, and you can see it started to drop off. But then again, if you look at the actual size of the group, if I just turn my vernier on, that's 0.74 of an inch. That's from centre to centre. Okay, so that group there is 10 shots, but it's only 3/4 of an inch. That's using that. So this pistol is accurate. It's very accurate actually. The power is very consistent, because we already know that, because we've seen the corona results. It's just that the actual sights, even though they shoot dead centre, they shoot low. And if you look at the actual sights themselves, they look actually identical to the real steel, because I did actually go on their website and look at the actual real steel pistol, and it actually looks, the sights look identical in position and height. So obviously with a BB you're going to have different characteristics. So I do recommend you actually fit a laser. One other thing I did notice, when I fitted this laser further back, where the third safety switch is, now that is surprisingly free moving actually. It's not as tight as some, and I found that this was actually interfering with that switch, which actually caused the actual pistol to jam, the trigger jammed backwards. Once I actually moved the actual laser forward off that switch, it's been perfect. So something to take note of: if you do fit a laser, make sure you don't let it interfere with that safety switch, otherwise you could have a jam where the actual pistol fails to shoot properly. Okay, but it's been faultless, absolutely faultless, yeah. I said I got 71 shots out of this. The actual blowback was just starting to drop off at 71. I think realistically you'd probably get 3 full magazines. If you go 20 shots, you'll get 60 shots easy, and then after that you might get another 10. And I actually shot this group pretty quickly. The last 2 10s, which are there and here, I actually shot them pretty quickly. But I was shooting them from indoors, rested off here. So I was actually shooting from indoors because the weather has been off and on with rain here. So yeah, very impressed with this. Definitely be keeping the laser on. I may well get a more compact laser. You can get the small Enfield type lasers, but the main thing is you don't want it to interfere with that switch, because it is actually surprisingly easy to move that switch. Yeah, and if it moves, it's going to interact with the actual trigger, which will stop your pistol shooting correctly. Okay. So yeah, I hope you like that little video, and I'll be posting this later. Hopefully get outside when the weather improves and do some proper freestanding 12.5 meter target and some tin can bashing, but we'll be using the laser because of the actual sheer amount of drop off at that range. Okay, so hope you enjoy that video. Thanks for watching.